Hello, I'm Benny. Welcome to my garage. If you watched the last video that I was working on the train bridge, you saw me make a bunch of the little trestles. Well, in this video, I'm going to start to assemble them and start to make it look like a bridge. All right, I'm going to make a pattern outside of the curve and the section where the bridge goes so that I can work on it in here. What else am I going to do? We're going to make that pattern into a little blueprint, right? And then the bridge is going to take shape in 3 sections. There's this middle section, that's the straight part, and it's eventually going to have the arch, and these get cut off, and there's going to be a river under it. It's going to be fantastic. And then the 2 end sections are curved, and they fit into the rest of the layout. They'll all be built separately, and then probably put together when it's installed outside. We're not going to get that far this week. This week, we're focusing mostly on this. I'm also making the arches, and I screwed up a bunch doing that, and you're going to see some of that. So, glad you're here. Let's get going. Oh, the carnage! It looks like a catastrophe happened out here. Okay, I got 2 choices. I can work out here or I can work inside, and it's going to be rainy all week, so that really makes a decision. Plus, bringing stuff out here every day to do it, it takes up a lot of extra time than you could spend working every morning before work. So what I did was I got a pattern made of the track and the spacing of everything and kind of where the bridge is going to start and stop in relation to the edges of the bricks. This should let me start putting everything together into something that I can eventually fit to the layout, to the bridge, to the gorge, to the gap, to the, you know, to the garage. All right, I've been working in here on some LED lighting options for out there. I eventually want to run everything off of a 12-volt landscaping transformer, so everything's going to be 12 volt, and I'll be able to turn it on and off and add stuff as necessary. Here's a little quick preview. Boop. We got lights. Super exciting, I know. And then if we wait a couple seconds, dun, 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 dun. We got blinky lights, we got regular lights, we got landscape lights. Someday there'll be lights. For now, we got to clean this off so we can work on a bridge. Woo! Starting to look like a bridge. Look at this, huh? Huh? Starting to look like a bridge. So here to here is where the little arch will go. So I got to make that at some point. All right, now I got to think about what's next. Do I do the arch section first? Do I start laying the next top piece? Do I put them all together? I don't know. But while I think about that, I got to go to work. So, till tomorrow. All right, here I am trimming the edges to make space for the cross beams. And I'm doing this because I didn't think ahead of time enough to leave the space for the cross beams. So now this is what I got to do. So these top pieces, this is what the track will actually sit on. I glued the two middle ones centered, and then I was going to space the outer ones depending on how it looked good with the track. But I got lucky, and it looks really good, and I just centered them all on the tops of the uprights, which makes it really easy to keep it consistent all the way down. what you're thinking. Hey, Benny, why didn't you just use one long piece to go across the whole straight section? You would have done the whole thing in record time. Well, let me tell you, all the pieces are slightly different color, right? So when they weather, they're going to look slightly different. And I want them to match the curved sections that are going to be on the ends, so it'll all look, you know, trestle-y and cool, old-timey. That's why I'm doing individual small pieces. Zoom, 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 zoom. And then it all went horribly wrong. Now, at this point, I think I've done a fantastic job. This is the right way to do it. Oh man, I feel good, okay. And I did that in the afternoon. And then that evening, I was like, I better go take it off the form and put the second one on. That way it'll be dried by tomorrow morning. I had put the glue side inside. I glued them to the form. I went, so had to chisel them off and redo it. Now, one of the things that happened was it starts out, you know, curved, and then when you pop it off the form, it flattens out just a bit, only a little bit on each end. But that was enough that I kind of, it wasn't enough of a curve anymore. So since I had to redo the edge of the form anyway, I cut off that much of it. And what that got me down to was, where was this? This was about there. That was about the same amount that it flexed out. So I was like, okay, I'll just make it that much smaller. That way when it flexes out, it'll be about what I originally wanted. So now we got the new smaller form. We have learned our lesson about thinking about what you're doing, and we go to do the next one. Now the next one with the slightly tighter curve broke a lot as I was putting the pieces together, and I got to put a lot of extra clamps on there. It became a big mess. There was glue all over the place. That was a mess. Pry that one off. So the next one, to get it to bend easier, I thought, hey, I don't have a steamer, but maybe I can soak them in the bathtub for a little bit. And the cedar soaking in the bathtub for about half an hour turned the water looking like tea, and it kind of stained the bottom of the bathtub. Now I got to clean that. But also, the wood was way too soft when I clamped it, and it made these indents. And then it still kind of cracked, and I had to fill a bunch of glue on the inside, and then it just came off, and it looks like crap. Also, starting with these scrap pieces of wood is now I've kind of gone through all the decent pieces. Now I got nothing but knots and cracks and splinters and whatnot. So I got to cut new wood anyway. So on to version 4 or 5 or whatever. So I slice up some more wood. Now these are a lot thinner. These are like, I don't know, a little less than 1/8 of an inch. And they've all got nice straight grain. And when I put them together, they're going to be great. And these I did about 4 layers, and they bend nice and easy. In the end, I ended up with, ta-da! And these look great, they fit great, and I got 2 of them here somewhere. That's not one of them. That was a different one of them. Yeah, these 2. They match. They match perfectly. Ta-da! So now I got 2 of them. A lot of this was stretched out extra time because there was a whole week where my work schedule changed and I didn't really have a lot of opportunity to work on this. So some of that was before, some of that was after, some of that was at night. I hope you can learn from my mistakes. Take your time. Do what you got to do. Don't rush it. A little pre-planning goes a long way in life and in bridges. I really don't know what else to say with all these. Jeez. So now I just got to decide where I want it. Do I want it down here, right? And then it follows the thing down. Or, man, if I brought it up right to the line of these, then it kind of just touches on the ends there. Oh, that kind of looks cool. But then, do I cut these? Do I put it on the outside? What do I do? What do I do? And then also, I don't know if these are too much detail or not. I mean, they make it super strong, and there are bridges that look like that, but I feel like maybe these sides should have been this way, and then maybe this one's a complete X, or maybe they don't go there at all. These are all problems that future Benny is going to decide, because I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here. We got this far with the middle straight section of the bridge. Finally got my arches. And we're going to go figure out what to do next. Probably it's going to be build the side pieces. And then once I got a good look at the entire bridge, I'll decide. I'll have to make that decision. All right, quick little recap. So we made all this. I told you why I did most of this. If you got any questions, let me know. Eventually, we'll get that arch in here. I got to figure out how it's going to be supported at each thing where the legs get cut off. Do I do it 2 like the tops of these, or do I do like a 1 inside? I got to figure that out. I showed you a little bit of how I messed up a bunch of these arches. One other kind of mess up that I did is these. Now, it's from looking at too many pictures. If you wanted an arch in most old-timey trestle bridges, it ended up being a square. You'd have the thing, and then you'd have a section of extra supported bridge, and then they would just cut off the legs underneath it, and you'd have a thing. And the camera died. All right, where was I? I made these, because that's how a lot of old bridges look. And I was having so much fun doing all the other pieces that without thinking, just staying in the zone, I went ahead and cut and started doing these. My original vision was just simple trestles, and then I was going to have the arch, whatever. But now I got these, and I thought maybe I'll cut them out at the end. Maybe I'll do something. I'm not sure if it's a mistake yet. Either way, I had so much fun making it, I'll probably keep it. I'm still going to do the arches. It'll have both. It's my bridge. I can do what I want. So that's it. When we get to a third installment of the Train Bridge series, you'll see the other two pieces, the side pieces. We'll get to installing it outside. It'll be great. All right. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, yada, yada. Have fun. Cheers.